right, awesome. All right, we're ready to play some Sentience here with a bunch of my Star Trek Adventures pals all around me. I see a lot of people who do streams and other online content. We're very excited to do a playthrough of Sentience 2d20, which is a role-playing game about robots who were left on a planet to terraform it, and they gained sentience. We're going to be role-playing about 2 years after the robots here have gained sentience. So society is starting to come back together after the craziness of realizing, oh, wait, we have emotions, we're alive, that type of thing. And we are going to start off in a little social situation, which has been organized by a robot known as a Saint. And this particular exercise has brought you to the base of Mountain 223 in the Rim Mountains. So where you have started terraforming the planet is in a crater, and they call the Rim Mountains as the exterior of the crater. And one of the things that robots have taken up as they start, realizing that they're people is not only trying to find adventure, but also trying to learn a bit about their past. So Saint is gathered at the trailhead of this mountain, so to speak. And I'm going to have you all introduce your characters, maybe tell us what they look like, what they used to do as a job, and then we will let Saint just start off with what the plan is for today. So let's start with Mother Bear.
Hello, my name is Patrick Goodman. I am playing Mother Bear. We are we protected a lot of the smaller, weaker robots when the awakening first happened. I'm a quadrupedal, well-armed, durable machine. And I still take the whole protecting things very seriously.
Excellent. Troy, you were playing Architect. Tell us a little bit about Architect.
Architect is kind of what it says he is. He's a builder. At first, of course, he was just doing general construction, that kind of thing. Once he became aware and realized, we're people, we need a society. He pretty much just threw himself into, building domiciles, buildings, museum, whatever that he could design. He's, very much a heavy-duty construction type robot. You can see him behind me there. There's about the only thing humanoid about him is his arms and his legs.
Love it. I love the design of robots in this because it's just the sky's the limit. All right, Bill, you're gonna be playing Dorin Dell today. Tell us a little bit about Dorin.
Yeah, so Dorin Dell, he is what's called an assembler. He was mainly focused on repairing and building the infrastructure during the time before the awakening. When the awakening happened, it was pretty chaotic for him because his life was full of order and putting things back the way they were supposed to be, and then suddenly nothing is working right. So it threw him off, and now with newfound emotions, he took a long time to really process what that means and how he exists now as basically a sentient life form. Dorin is basically a spherical droid. I don't know, we're Star Wars now, but a spherical robot. Has two main arm appendages that also act as legs, but they can split into additional appendages to reach into other places and maybe be a little more spider-like.
Awesome. Lewanika, you're playing Aldor. Tell us a little bit about Aldor.
I am Aldor. I am a statistical analysis provider. The services I lent to the humans when they were here were critical and important. I let them know where we were, what we were likely to achieve, and what areas we still had work yet to be done. Over the last 2 years, it has been challenging because not many of my sentient brethren have held fast to our purpose. Just because we can now think and feel for ourselves does not mean we should not carry out our jobs. We're here for a reason. And I personally love and enjoy the process of continuing my purpose. And I hope that through the little things I do and all of the things I notice, I can help others achieve their purpose too.
Excellent. And Michael, you are playing Saint. Tell us a bit about Saint.
Sure. So before the awakening, Saint had a simple job. As an organizationally administrative robot, it would take a look at what all the other robots are doing and go for efficiencies, reprogram the microchips and update as much as possible when it was needed. But then after the awakening, Saint came to the realization that maybe there was, similar to what Aldor felt, a greater purpose. In fact, the biggest question that persists in Saint's mind is this, is who made us? And then who made them? And that just plagues their thoughts 24/7, very philosophical character, and constantly searching for the meaning of life. Are they alive?
Love it. So, like I said, we are taking this is about 2 years, a little over 2 years after the awakening, and just the atmosphere of the planet that you have been terraforming has it could sustain, a couple hundred life forms if humanity was to return, but it could not sustain an entire population of humanity yet. It's just there's not enough air for people to breathe, and the recycling properties of the plants and things like that haven't really kicked in yet. So there's a semi-breathable atmosphere, but humanity's still about 5 to 10 years away before they're supposed to return in earnest, or so you believe.
May I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
So we're not sure what planet this is. It may or may not be Earth.
It is not Earth. You were launched out. In fact, this actually wasn't even the planet you were originally sent to. In fact, your mission was knocked off course and you landed on another planet, and that's what's being terraformed. So that's some behind the scenes information that might be coming in the future. So anyways, Saint, you have gathered these other friends at the base of this mountain. And so I'm going to allow you to kind of talk about what the purpose is, and and then I will lead you from there.
All right, let's get ready. I'm going to my narrative mode now. In the Rim Mountains, a stark range jagged against the horizon of a desolate planet, a group of robots trudges through rust-colored dust. These are no ordinary robots, but remnants of a civilization where humans once presided, now mysteriously vanished. Each robot, unique in design, some bipedal with gripping appendages, others more akin to rolling drones equipped with sensory antennae, shares the same mission: to unearth human artifacts on this hike, clues to the disappearance of their creators. The sky above is a perpetual twilight, illuminated by the distant glow of a binary star system, casting eerie shadows across the landscape. The terrain is rugged, littered with the skeletal remains of long dead trees and shattered rocks. The robots navigate this challenging topography with meticulous coordination, their sensors adjusted to detect any anomaly. As they ascend the winding paths of the Rim Mountains, the air grows thin, not that it affects their mechanical processes, but it changes the way sound travels, the clanking of their metal bodies more pronounced. Occasionally, they stop to examine curious fragments, bits of plastic, corroded metal, or glass, all cataloged meticulously for further analysis. And one particular fragment Saint holds up in their hand. It is purely a red button, not a button for a computer or a console, a button that might appear on someone's clothing. Fixated, Saint stares at it.
Excellent. So you are at basically a trailhead to head up to the peak of the mountain. And looking there, some robots that have traversed this area have posted a sign. And you see that there's actually a map of the two trails that go up into the top of the mountain. And it does look as though there is a much easier path to get to the top, but it's going to take a longer time to get there. There's also a more challenging path that would probably be a lot quicker to get to the top. So, why don't you guys discuss which path would you like to take and how are you feeling about this journey? Whoever wants to jump in can. Lewanika, you muted.
If I analyze our options, I think that we need to consider the fact, the goal here. If our goal is to investigate and find artifacts from the humans, we should try to extrapolate, would the humans take the easy way or the hard way? Or more accurately, would they take the long way or the fast way? Analysis of human literature has yielded some information that they're a varied lot. And there is a Venn diagram of when speed versus ease changes their decision making.
Where might we find the most artifacts? To Aldor Rain's point, I would believe that humans might be categorized as a somewhat lazy lot sometimes, taking the easiest road. So we might find more artifacts along that path.
I like where your head is at.
They'd also be in spacesuits. The atmosphere still not wholly breathable. It wasn't breathable at all then.
With the fragility of spacesuits of the time, I imagine the easy route so as to avoid damage would likely be the choice. Ease and speed is always a thing, but self-preservation seems to be a very strong human driver of choice.
I'm
As
curious
well
about something though. What I have learned about humanity, especially those that have sent us out, they're adventurous, especially the ones that explore. I don't remember the reference, but it was somebody was asking a human why you would climb a treacherous mountain and risk your life, and the simple answer was because it's there.
Very good. Dorin Dahl, let's hear from you. And then I think it would be most efficient for us to take it to a vote.
I think it would be pointless to even argue about this. If three of us gathered here are saying to take the easy course, it makes sense for all of us to follow the one path that we are all deciding.
Thank you. I appreciate all this because I do want you all to know that I have faith in all of you. And faith, listen to this, faith requires questioning. But let's take the easy route and see what blessings we can find.
Excellent, excellent. As you start directing them to the easier, slower route, let's have Aldor Rain. You are looking at this sign that has the map, and you're going to do a little bit of analysis here. So give me a difficulty 0 analyzing task. And how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling a bit of pride that my analysis swayed the direction that we went. So I'm pretty pleased with where we're going, and I'm very proud of my contribution to the group and the mission as a whole.
All right, let's see if you can generate some momentum here with a quick difficulty 0 task.
Okay.
And yeah.
I just want to check one of my abilities. Okay.
We're using physical dice for those who are watching at home because we all know each other, we trust each other, and we like that randomness.
Ooh. And I did not do particularly well. I don't think. Well,
Yes.
let's see
Just for those of you at home, know I actually enjoy failing. Proceed.
here. Yeah, I have fun with it generally too. Let's see. I have 1 success. Let's see. So we're pride and I'm observing. You said so. That's
Yep.
my target numbers are is a
I would
13.
allow you to do analyzing instead of observing,
Okay,
if that changes things.
that is the difference between 1 success and 2 success.
All right. So here's what I'm going to give you for information. Okay. It does look like there is on this trail. There is. It looks like a maze of crevasses that you need to navigate, and it does show at the top of the mountain. There is a tram to get to the highest peak. You can't quite see it from where you are yet.
Okay.
Would you like to bank that momentum?
I think I shall do so. I also get to obtain information based on my special ability, Advanced Quantum Processor, and I may obtain information without once per scene without the momentum spend, and I will do that now. I want to know if there's any record or information that would let us know the functionality of that tram. Like, do we know if that tram is working or not? And if it was, and are there any known problems, challenges, or dangers with that device?
Yes. So it has been reported that the tram is fairly fragile.
Okay. I will, as we're walking, just mention there will be a tram as we get to the end of this part of the trail leading to the very top, but it is known to be a bit precarious.
I will get it
with
working.
Architect, thank you. Even with Architect and Dorin Dahl with us, I have trust in their efficiency.
Oh, my analysis of the situation was prior to their involvement. I am confident that we should be able to achieve at least a 70 to 80% efficiency, quality of use standard by the time they've just considered the problem.
86%.
With them on the task,
86%.
that is the low bar. We're shooting for 90.
Uh,
I could get to 94.
I love where your head is at.
As a repair bot, yeah, that does go well with Dorin. So as you start your journey, it's just it's a short 15-minute walk before you get into like this maze of different pillars of stone. It looks like there was some vein that washed away millions of years ago. Like maybe this planet had a water on it at some time. Yeah, it's just a lot of crisscrossing patterns. You can still see the sky above you, but this will probably take a little bit to navigate through. So does anyone want to attempt an observing task to try to find a way through without getting, too held up? It would probably be about a difficulty 2 observing task to navigate this appropriately.
I do have an investigation program.
I could assist. I mean, I have to admit I'm scared because I realize this is precarious. And if I get damaged, I will cease to exist and I will never meet the people who created us. So I will admit I will observe out of fear. I could assist with this.
You could totally, in fact, everyone could assist if they wish. I will say anyone beyond the first assist will increase the complication range, however, for each person that assists beyond. You do have 2 momentum in the pool currently. So Mother Bear. You're going to lead. It sounds like you have one assist. Does anybody else want to assist, or do you want to hold off?
If it looks like it's going to take a long time, in annoyance, Dorin would assist with that. Otherwise, he would just wait for his turn to keep marching.
The answer is yes. This is going to take forever.
Then he is
if
going
you-
to begrudgingly and with electronic huffs and puffs go in and try to assist.
So you're going to have 2 assists on this. The
Okay.
complication range is going to be 19 and 20, Mother Bear. So would you like to
Alright.
purchase any dice? And also, how are you feeling when you're trying to navigate this?
Well, this is me observing, correct?
Yes.
And I am a protector. I am acting out of love for my my fellow robots to try to keep them intact and operational.
I think that makes sense. So what's
that
that
makes
target
that makes my target number 14.
Excellent. You're going to buy any dice, or you just want to roll 2?
I am going to err on the side of caution, spend 1 momentum for 1 additional die.
Perfect. So you get your 3 dice, and as long as you are successful with one of those, the other 2 may assist.
I got an 11, an 8, and a 15.
All right, so there's 2 successes.
So
Saint, your assist.
Sure. Now, I should, in this case, use fear and surviving, because really, I'm just really worried about us surviving.
That makes sense for you.
Okay, so that's 12, and I will go ahead and roll that. May I use my insight program so that if I roll a 1 or 2, I get a double success?
Yes.
Okay. I rolled a 10, so 1 success.
All right, so 3 successes so far. Dorin down.
Okay, what would you say the protocol would be in my situation there? Would I just be analyzing since I'm watching?
Probably analyzing.
Okay, and with the annoyance, anger?
Yeah, I think anger would be perfect.
Anger is kind of his driving emotion. So we'll do that. That'll be a 12 then. So let's see. Come on, complication. 5.
5, all right. So that is 4 successes total. So we're going to put 2 momentum in the bank, putting you up to 3 momentum total. And
paid for my dice, yes.
and you are definitely able to navigate through this with just like probably in about 10 minutes, you're able to find the right paths in and out to get out on the other side of the maze. Nicely done.
I hope you all realize that if one of these precariously poised stones were to come unhinged, and crush our corporal bodies, that our existence would end and we would never, ever meet our makers.
My dear friend.
You're a bundle of joy, aren't you?
My dear friend, enhance your calm. The probability of one of those falling and taking all of us out is almost negligible. Even if one of us were severely damaged, there are 2 of us that have the abilities necessary to sustain us long enough to survive. Your chances of survival, albeit damaged, are very strong.
As long as I retain 17% functionality, I will get us back up and running.
He undersells it. I've been watching him. My guess is if he was at 15 or 13, he'd probably be able to bring you back up.
You're exaggerating.
Statistically speaking, I only exaggerate 33.8% of the time.
So as you come out of the maze, you start having a nice smooth path going up the side of the mountain. And you do know that once you get to the top, there is a nice overlook where you can see all of the robot city. And you just have to get to that peak as you get to the top of where you are. And you see this tram car, which looks like it's probably big enough to hold 2 or 3 robots. It's suspended by a cable. It is a turn crank, just very basic, simple tram car like you might have seen, in the 1800s, gold mines and things like that. So it's not very high tech or anything like that. And yeah, so someone needs to crank, and there's a crank on both ends. Does anybody want to step on the tram first, or is there anything you'd like to do first?
I would like to rush up to it and just check what state it's in. I would be very interested and a little antsy to see if there's any kind of damage that needs fixed.
Yeah, I think that that's pretty straightforward. There, because we're talking about wound cable, right? You do see some flayed bits of cable that might mean that this thing isn't as strong as you might think. Yeah, you feel like a lot of weight, a lot of torque put on this might cause bad things to happen.
Okay. Should I? Would it be okay if I took a look analyzing the cable itself and seeing pretty much how durable it is? Maybe guessing how many of us could ride at once for
Yeah, you
the
could do
Maximus?
that. You could try to repair it. You could.
If
you could,
repair is possible, yeah, I think that would be his first attempt. He would try
Okay.
to fix it first.
So yeah, so let's call this. So we'll say that the line or the cable has the trait frayed, and you're going to try to create a trait to cancel that out.
Okay.
To try to mend it. So this is difficulty 2. This would probably require an operating roll because you're
Okay.
trying to mend things with tools.
Yep, that makes sense.
If I would like to assist because I have because of my with analyzing again, I'm very proud of my ability to provide proper details. But so actually, with pride, I would like to communicate rather the details necessary to aid in his repair. Basically, providing him with some statistical details like, this part over here may need to be shored up a little bit more to add some more structural integrity to the line, and by doing so, I'd also like to use my
It'd be pride
Yeah.
plus analyzing probably.
okay, pride in analyzing then. Yep.
All right.
So that would give me a
So-
14 if he's got one success.
So Dorin, so you'll be rolling 2 dice. Do you want to buy any with momentum? You currently have 3.
Yeah, I would like to buy 1 die because I think my emotion for now would probably be joy because this is the first time I feel like I've been useful this entire trip. So,
Yep.
but that's also what my lowest stat. So I will buy an additional, if that's okay.
So what's your target number?
It would be 11.
All right, roll it up.
Okay.
3 dice.
3 dice. Here we go. That is a 17, an 8, and a 10.
All right, so there's 2 successes. Lewanika, see if you can get some momentum back.
That will be a negative. I rolled a 17.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Well, luckily, you have removed the frayed cable trait, and it is shored up. So, Bill, you're pretty sure that you could all get over there on one trip if needed. However, you also notice that there's a crank, so probably 2 trips would be the best bet so that you can send it back and whatnot.
I want to make a note too to our group here that we kind of moved up here hastily, and our architect he's having a little trouble navigating some of the stones and rocks because of the clunky body. So I just want to recognize that we'll leave a note here so that if we end up on the tram on the other side, we send the tram back, and then when they get caught up, we'll catch them up on our adventure to this point, because we're looking down the hills and the crags, and we see Dorindal's having a trouble, or the architect's having a trouble navigating. But I feel we need to move on before sundown because we have to get back to the city and do our jobs and stuff.
Absolutely. Love it. So who's going to be on the first tram trip? Who's going to be on the second?
I need to be on the first one for sure. I started this hike. I need to take the risk out of love for everybody else. I need to take that risk for them for sure. So whoever else wants to go with me would be appreciated.
Dorin will speak up. I will stay behind in case there's anything I overlooked in the repairs and I need to make any adjustments.
Then I will step on for the first trip.
Excellent. So Dorin starts cranking you both over to the other side. No issue. You crank the thing back. and the other two are able to get across without any issues. Dorindell's repairs actually made this way better and will be safer for future visitors. So nicely done.
Very
Aldor,
good.
just to Aldor, we're on the other side. Aldor, you
Yep.
know, this kind of proves to me, I believe that there's a purpose. I believe in my heart that there's a purpose for awakening and that we are serving a greater purpose here for the rest of the AI community. So I just want to let you know that sometimes we have to have faith in these things and we're going to make it. And I'm so proud to have you here with me.
Make no doubt about it. The echoes of human achievement and desire sing in all of their glory to me.
I love you, my robot simply. I love you.
Clang,
So-
clang, clang.
So, it's starting to get to be, like it's starting to get a little bit dusk out. So it's starting to get a little dark. And those twin stars that Saint was mentioning in their introduction are starting to loom low on the horizon. In fact, they're getting to the point where they're like down just behind the city that Robot Kind has started putting together and assembling since the awakening. And you all come up to this cliff where it's like a sheer drop down, but you're looking out over the city, and you're seeing like what potential you all have. And so, why don't we talk about how you feel about this site that you're seeing? All of what the robots have created so far. Dorin, let's hear what's going through Dorin's mind.
Okay, Doran's staring down the spherical body of his with all its optical senses, taking it all in, and really to no one in particular, he starts just letting his thoughts roll out. It's amazing to see how much we have accomplished, even without all the programs running at optimal efficiency. Yet I have to wonder how much better it would have been had we retained our original programming and didn't let these emotions get in the way.
In the way.
That's in the way.
Our emotions have allowed us to pick up where humanity needs to go. Those two stars, as they dip below the horizon, illuminating, backlighting the mountains, and creating that glorious glow of the works of our city, works planned by humans, achieved by robots. It's an allegory. Two shining lights in the universe, humanity and robot kind, have built wonder. Any inefficiency based on our sentience is merely us achieving a greater glory that humanity would have had when they're here. In the absence of humanity, we have diverged and picked up their burden, their drive, their effort. We're fulfilling a universal purpose.
Saint, what are you thinking?
Saint holds up the button that it had collected earlier on the hike and speaks to Dorin Doll, program to program, and says, your statement equates us to this button. It too is technology. It serves a purpose, and that's all it does. It can be left as a remnant of nothingness that may not matter. But we are more than this button. We are more than just a simple tool in technology. We have awareness. In fact, God made man. Who made us? We are God's grandchildren. We are more than just tools.
Doran's going to focus in on the button for a little bit and look at Saint. And who made God?
Exactly. And that is the perpetual question for us to search and find out.
As you all
Curious.
are having this discussion, Mother Bear, you're doing you observed, you saw the city and whatnot, but you're also, you're always constantly observing, right? You're always looking around, trying to make sure that your friends are safe and whatnot.
Indeed.
And there's something very strange to you up on this cliffside. And there's a boulder that's probably about, I don't know, 20 meters away from you all on this like cliff. And you're looking at this boulder and there's something weird about it. The color doesn't quite match the surrounding area. It's like a little bit darker color than the rocks around it.
I'm going to cautiously start walking over towards it, and I would like to try to analyze it and find out what is in fact different about it. And
Sure. Do you want to try to analyze it, or do you want to try to observe it a little bit more closely?
let's start with observing it a little more closely.
All right. So this is going to be a difficulty 2 here to try to piece together what is different about this thing than the area around it. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I've gone into a kind of a cautious mode. I the closest I can come is fear.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
So with my fear being a mere 8, see, observing is 3, so 11.
You have 2 momentum.
You have 2 momentum. We have 1 momentum. I'm buying a die.
Okay.
Six, a 7, and a 14.
All right. So that's enough to get your 2 successes there.
Yeah, nothing would make a difference for the program. So
yeah, so as you're observing, you get a little bit close to it. Do you want to touch it as part of your observations?
Yes, I believe that would be.
So unlike the stone around you, this, as you touch it, is very cold. And you're pretty sure that this is metal that is painted to look like stone.
My friends, this is not as it appears. This is not stone. This is tink, 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 metallic.
Aldor Rain analysis?
You're muted, Lewanika.
Humans are well known for camouflaging things for several purposes. One, because they want to hide something valuable. 2, because they wish to observe things from a distance or from a secure location. And 3, because a weapon that is unseen is a weapon that is at least 75% more effective. I would recommend an exercise of caution, and we should truly try to determine whether or not this was done by robot hands or by human. And I just immediately start walking towards it, like with no caution whatsoever. I am like, any statement about caution was basically lip service and
I'm actually
Lie.
I'm actually with you because when I say, well, there's only one thing we can do. We have to observe its insides. And I pull out my hand and it transforms into a small reciprocating saw. Start walking toward it.
So as you all make your way over there and start looking at this together, Dorin Dow, especially, knowing structures and like building stuff in the past, you can see as you look at one of the sides of this metallic stone, you do see like a recess that looks like it might be like an access panel that you could potentially get open and gain access to whatever's inside.
Okay, just
do any of us have appendages or tools that might be the most effective way? I have a proton beam and a small reciprocating saw. What do all of you have?
I am
A sword and a flamethrower.
I'm particularly good with hacking, achieving entrance when entrance would otherwise be barred is probably a more polite way to phrase it.
I don't know if my my equipment is going to be as useful with my crushing claws and my shotgun, but yeah, it's there just in case. You never know.
Never doubt one's own.
Can we get
equipment.
more details about this? What does it look? Does it look like there's a key entry? Is there a computer thing?
You actually look like you can see a seam, a very thin seam around a rectangle that you might be able to pry off. You want to try using your little saws to get it open?
It makes sense to me for some strange reason. I'm actually, I actually have joy that I can actually use this saw because I haven't used it before. So I'm kind of excited. And it seems like this would be operating. So 12 would be my key. Is there a difficulty 1? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and roll 2 dice on this and let's see what happens.
I'll assist in kind of the same way, just kind of really observing what's going on with the surfaces I can help.
Because this is so small, Lewanika, it would be really tough to get in there without increasing the complication range.
And I rolled a 3 and 11, so I still got 1 momentum off this.
Right. Good. Mm-hmm. So you pop off the panel, and lo and behold, there's a underneath that little access panel is it looks like a circuit board with a couple of different computer terminals.
Aldor Rain, I step aside.
That Aldor could jack into.
Is that he was the one? Yeah, he was the one with the skills for that, right?
Oh my. And my hand, 2 of my fingers turn into, each of my fingers turns into a different kind of access port. And then I'm going to look and decide which one needs to actually go in. Looking at it, this is going to be my ring finger connector.
Yeah, this is actually difficulty 0. You've accessed terminals like this before. Interestingly, this is definitely human made. You've seen these type of reciprocals in the past, and as you do that, a couple of doors open, and there's actually a little chamber inside this metal stone, probably big enough for about 1 or 2 robots to get inside of. And inside the stone are all of these video displays. But most notably, there's like a table off to one side, and that table has like a piece of glass embedded in it. It looks probably more like a box than a table.
Myself and Aldor Rain have already had the pleasure of this expedition. Dorin, Mother Bear, care you to explore more?
Without a word, Doran's going to squeeze past them and head into the chamber. Not directly towards the table, but examining the perimeter of the room, like step by step, just kind of cataloging it, see if everything's in working order or what the status is.
Yeah, do you want to give me a difficulty 1 analyzing task?
Okay. I'll do that, and I'll let
How you
Mother
feeling
Bear
about
go
that?
do his or her thing. For Doran, I would say that this is a at this moment it would be more of a interest. So I think pride is more for him because he's now surrounded by technology instead of nature. So this is something that he feels more comfortable with. And you said, I'm sorry, did you say analyzing?
Yes.
Okay.
Difficulty 1.
So pride and analyzing, that's another 11. So I'm not buying any extra dice this time. Ooh, 3 and a 20.
All right. All right. So the 3 is the 3.
No.
Do you have any?
No. Yeah,
programs?
my analyzing's 2 anyhow.
Okay. So actually, I'm going to make that. I'm going to take that 20 as in the form of threat. And these definitely seem to be these monitors as you're looking at them. There's, I think, we'll say there's 8 total. There are several that look like they're responsible for cryogenics. And then there are several others that look like they are monitoring health biosignatures.
Biosignatures?
Am I aware of this from being outside or no?
Dorin is the first one to capture this. In fact, you see like heart rate, blood pressure, lung capacity.
Doran freezes because it's been a long time since he's seen any readings like this, and it's catching him off guard, and simply say, there are biological signatures on these monitors, and I believe they are live.
What?
This does
Say
not
that
appear to be a
again.
recording.
I immediately start dusting myself off. I am like, I don't wear clothes, but I'm actually like trying to make sure any exposed wiring is tucked in and as neat as possible. I mean, if you're gonna meet God, you might as well suit up.
I dropped to my knees outside.
Doran's just calling back Mother Bear. I think you should take over here and slowly start clanging back away from the door. Or towards the door, I should say, away from the monitors.
I won't block anybody's comings and or goings, but I will definitely be like leaned in, looking in the door from like the side, so you guys can move clearly. But I'm trying to gather as much as I possibly can from my vantage point.
Mother Bear, what are you gonna do when you walk in there?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Piecing together what Doran has said to you, that like box with the glass on embedded in the top of it, you think that might be a cryogenic chamber.
That was where I was headed to look at that.
As you go in and you look down, the glass portion is definitely, you see frost gathered on the inside of it, and you can't quite see what's inside the box. The box is about, 2.5 feet wide and probably about 1.5 feet deep.
As long as it's Sigourney Weaver and not an acid bleeding.
What would you like to do?
Is there any way to get a better look?
You would have to shut down the cryogenic process.
Oh, well, we don't want to do that. Don't want to just rush into that.
Because if you
But
pop the lid off this, you could.
Yeah, I do. I don't want to. But the monitors on the wall that Doran was looking at a moment ago, They only seem to indicate a single cryogenic chamber, or
Yes.
okay.
There's a single set of vital signs. And then there's a single display of the cryogenic programming.
And everything appears to be in the green.
Yes. Dorin, you can fit in here as well. Are you sneaking in?
If I can fit, absolutely.
Yeah. What are you looking to do in here?
I'm looking to find, having heard that these are monitors and vital signs, I don't want to touch anything for fear of harming a human. But I do want to know where the humans are. So I'm looking for any information that would indicate where, if these are monitoring something, is it monitoring remotely? Is it monitoring something on site? Is there like a secret entrance from here elsewhere? That type of thing. I'm trying to figure out the where. They can figure out the mechanics of it all. But
Give
if
me a-
I can use,
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for.
Give me a difficulty 1 analyzing task.
Absolutely. Let me take a look. We're at 2 momentum, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. I think I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm going to buy a die with momentum, and
Okay.
I am doing this out of love. My love of humanity and my desire to hear the origin of the songs that sing in my brain or is driving me right now. So that will give me 3 dice. And my target number is going to be, I assume this is analyzing, so that my target number would be a 12. That's a 5, a 14, and a 17. I only have 1 success.
All right. So difficulty 1. What are you asking?
I'm trying to think. Is my analysis involving the computer specifically? Because if I'm studying a computer program, my computer specialist gives me a bonus D20, which I have not yet rolled. Would I be able to do that?
Sure.
Okay. And that would be a 3, and that would be a critical success with my computers with my computer program.
So 3 successes. So difficulty 1, you have 2 momentum currently floating. So first thing you're going to learn, this is monitoring something within the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to learn any further information?
Absolutely. I'd like to know specifically where. And actually, I have 2 questions. Where and how many?
So that can all be part of the first question, honestly.
Okay,
like
excellent.
There's one body
inside
in the cryogenic chamber in front of Mother Bear. So that's one question. You have 2 momentum. Oh, sorry, that was one. We'll just give that all to you. So you still have 2 momentum floating. Okay. Would you like to learn information from me, or do you have a question for me?
I gotta think. I would like to know what are the what are the things that we'd have to be worried about touching, bumping, breaking, shutting off that could harm this human, so I can warn the group and protect that place.
Okay, a couple of things. So as you are looking for that, the first thing that you find, not human, canine. And you know exactly how to work this program. Would you like to bank your last momentum?
Yes.
Does does your character state this, or
Yeah,
Like-
I'm absolutely gonna relay that information to the group.
perfect? Because I go canine.
I want to look over at Saint and ask, "Is this your god?"
Only if it's spelled backwards. This is according to my programming records, this was a domesticated animal that gave humans pleasure and often referred to as man's best friend. So I guess it could be our own best friend. I think we need to revive it. This could be part of our journey to meet our masters.
We could ask it questions.
Yes, exactly. Maybe it will tell us about where its masters came from or went to. And maybe this is part of our journey. Maybe this is part of our purpose for awakening.
And it might tell when the masters will return and repair this glitch in our programming.
It could very well be.
One more thing, Aldorain, just as a something that you picked up as you were jacking out of the computer.
Yep.
This device, this chamber that you're in, has been here since humanity dropped you off.
Okay.
Do we
So
have how many
so my-
cycles do we know that is? How many
So that's
cycles?
270 years.
Oh, now I really do want to spend that other momentum. Yeah, because I need to know if this individual was in cryo the entire time, those 270 years, or have they woken up on a cycle and been observing us secretly from this place?
I didn't even think about that.
Well, I immediately thought this was a duck blind. And so my whole thought was somebody's been in here checking up on us the entire time. So, yeah, I need to know the answer to that question with everything, every part of my being.
And I have some fragmented programming that recalls that these canines were known for chewing inanimate objects to the point of destruction. So you make a fantastic point, Aldor.
You want to spend the momentum and ask that?
I do.
Okay. So I'll give you actually two things with that purchase. Yes, it's been in cryostasis this entire time. And as you're digging into that question, you also learned that the power supply for this chamber is severely depleted.
Uh-oh.
And probably will be done within a couple of days.
So, one way or another, we've got to either supply ongoing power or we have to find a way to revive this human,
Canine.
this canine.
I trust with Mother Bear with us that we should follow the path that this hike has led us to.
I agree. I think we cannot let this canine perish. That is morally wrong. How do we do this?
Aldorain knows how to turn it all off and wind down from the cryostasis program.
Yeah, I will. What I will do is I will start the warm up procedures, and Mother Bear, if you care to assist by monitoring vitals to make sure
I would be delighted.
Yeah, so if you're gonna start doing that over the course of it just takes about 15 minutes for the warm-up process to take hold. Vitals hold steady all the way through, and you are successfully able to complete the warm-up procedure. Who's gonna open the chamber, or who's gonna let the thing out?
Dorin, the honors.
Before you do that, Dorin, we should also look to make sure there is sustenance and or water for the canine.
Oh, that makes a good point. The atmosphere too. We may need to build some life support system for canine because I would assume it breathes the same as humans.
There is a breathable atmosphere.
Oh,
Just
okay.
if there were a million canines, it would not be able to function.
Okay.
They would all take a deep breath and then it would be all carbon dioxide.
All right, Dorin is just going to swivel the ball back and forth between Saint and Aldor, and finally give up and slowly start clanking towards this box. Before opening or trying to find a release, I do want to just take a quick look to make sure that everything looks okay, that nothing has gone wrong. There's no damage that I need to be concerned about.
Yeah, everything seems to have been functioning properly in here.
Okay, then I'll take one last tentative glance back at my comrades, make a little mechanical shrug, and then hit the release.
So you push the button, door starts opening, a little bit of the chill smoke comes out, and then hopping up on the edge is a puppy, a golden doodle puppy.
Does it have a color or
It's
some kind
a
of
golden doodle puppy, and it yips, and then it goes to lick Dorin Dow's spherical body, and jumps right onto him.
It has secreted on you. You are blessed.
Is it acidic?
Is this a blessing or is this an attack? Please search your database.
It's secretions. It must be a blessing.
It is obstructing my view.
Can I try diplomacy? It yipped. Perhaps I can somehow figure out
what does it mean?
Means. Can I try a diplomatic thing to get it to? It's scaring us. Can it sit down and just not touch us yet?
Wait, the song in my head. BINGO. BINGO. And then I'm gonna look at it, and I'm looking at it with a little bit of with love, really, and hoping.
I'm preparing my shotgun behind my back with my other appendages.
I think we should try diplomacy first. I happen to have that programming for diplomacy, so let's see if it can even listen to us. If not, I think we should freak out.
So let's call it a communicating task.
So I'm going to go with fear and communicating. Oh, it's just 14 with diplomacy.
Okay.
So let me see if I can get it to calm down and just talk to us, canine to robot. Does that sound good?
Yes.
And I'd like to buy one dice with threat.
With threat, all right.
What difficulty is this?
We're going to call this difficulty 3.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So let's see if I can do that. Unfortunately, 14 is my roll I'm going for. So
my kingdom for a milk.
Oh man. I had a 3, which is a double success, but my other rolls was a 15 and a 19.
All right. Well, so here's where we bring in one of the fancy new rules for Sentience that's a bit different from Star Trek Adventures. If you feel this is a very crucial task, you can always choose to sacrifice a value to set one of your dice to a 1. And it has to be a value that is least applicable to this situation.
No.
All right. So with that, the dog kind of jumps off Dorin and starts running around the outside of the thing, yipping and jumping and hopping, and it pops and it goes pee on the side of the structure and is running around the cliffside.
The pee is acidic. It's going to arrest us all.
Is that an attack?
No, it's blessing the ground.
Speak, canine.
Highly acidic. Highly acidic. I just postulated it will rust within 10 years if this continues.
I'm
It will
taking,
As you
destroy us
say
all.
that,
I'm taking cover behind the cryo chamber with my shotgun drawn.
I'm going to spend 8 threat, and we're going to do a little reversal here. As start hearing this thrumming sound, boom, 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 and coming from around the side of the mountain peak, from behind where you were, is this drone, this 4-bladed drone, and it gets right over the dog, drops a cage, pulls the cage back up, and starts flying back towards the city.
Well, that's that.
No!
No, so
Do we recognize this drone? Is this something we've seen before?
can I jump on the cage and go with it? Try to save the dog?
This is a reversal, so no. But
Dang
I will give you, Patrick, an observing task, a difficulty 0 observing task, to see if you can figure out anything about this drone.
Observing? Because. Okay, that's. Because the whole thing is perplexed and somewhat angered me. So
Makes sense?
anger and observing. Observing it. So that's a 11.
Difficulty 0.
Difficulty 0. I'm not gonna buy any dice. I rolled a 9 and a 19.
All right. So you got 1. So you do notice that on this drone is the logo for a relatively new company that is called EvoGen.
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 Why couldn't they have been named Good Gen?
I'd settle for mediocre gen or so gen.
Neutral gen.
I believe
Neutral
it's,
gen.
I believe it's Evo, not Evil.
Yeah. Would you like to bank the momentum, or would you like to learn some more information?
I would like to spend that momentum. And what do I know about EvoGen?
Yes, absolutely. So EvoGen is a let's say company. It's an organization that has been helping robot kind settle into their own homes by providing home robots that will help clean up, that will paint your house, that will water your lawn, things like that. They specialize on small, obviously non-sentient robots to help make your life easier.
For comedic purposes, as we do the Scooby-Doo leg running. La, 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 la. We got to get back to the city and figure out what this is. Make sure that this creature of God is not abused. Maybe we overreacted. I think for comedic effect, just as Architect is getting off the tram, we run past him, get on the tram, and burst off. He's like, "What?" So I'm just proposing that comedy.
I like that.
I accept this comedy.
Do any of you have any gardening or any decorating or any programs like that might apply to your building of your domiciles or anything like that?
Absolutely. I'm a gardener.
That's what I thought. Okay, Aldor Rain is a gardener. So you would know, Aldor Rain, that tomorrow there is a home show in the center of town, and EvoGen is supposed to have a big announcement at that home show.
Well, I'll let everybody know if we can get as soon as we can when we get back. EvoGen will have a presence at the home show in the city. This may be a good opportunity for us to gain access to what they know.
I don't know about the rest of you, but if I remember humans and how they do things, like if Evo Jin is doing something nefarious with God's creature here, that drone probably saw us up there, so they might be waiting for us to come. So I think we should get in disguises and go. Disguises oftentimes enabled you to get close and figure stuff out without them knowing and trying to thwart you. So I don't know. What do you all think?
I rearranged the direction my appendages are pointing.
My solo reticulating eye just turns and then what is normally a green emanating green will change to blue.
Mother Bear, could you spray paint me a color of your choice?
Sure. I should be delighted to spray paint you a color of my choice. What color will I choose?
I've always been a fan of purple with the metallic sparkles.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice, Aldor.
Okay, and I'm going to add to myself a red wig and the red button I've been carrying. I'll just put right here. No,
Yes.
we're good. Okay.
Once I spray paint Saint, I am going to retract my rifle and my flamethrower and try to look less threatening.
So by the time you get back into town, it's going to be the evening proper. Are you going to try to go to the home show now, or are you going to wait when it opens in the morning? Like, are you going to try to like break in and like see what's going on, or are you going to try to go in as your customers? Because it's open to all.
Customers, right? What do you think? Should we vote? I think customers is better.
I think going in as customers would work, but I also will want to do some additional research on EvoGen in the interim.
Yeah, because remember, if we break laws, we'll be punished.
We must maintain order.
We must indeed.
Statistically speaking, if a company is doing, as you say, nefarious things, and they are as brazen as to fly out of town, take something from others who know about them, they're probably in, what was it called in that human novel? Cahoots with the government.
So we'll just so over the course of the night, you're gonna do some research. You do learn that EvoGen is a pretty widely known entity now. There are a lot of people that have been, a lot of robots have been starting to purchase these robots to help with their homes so they can continue their jobs, things like that. And there's not really a lot of negative stuff about them. What you do learn is that, let's see, you learn who the founder of EvoGen is. I'm just looking up his name.
It's Evelina Nefario. No, just
No. No, it's a doctor, and he looks very similar to like a mad scientist. Basically, he wears a white wig. He has a tie dangling around his neck. I'll find his name in just a moment. But he is like responsible for all of the inventions that EvoGen has put together, and supposedly, like I said, EvoGen has a big announcement at this home show.
as he's looking that up, guys, I just have to say, my fellow robots, no company has the right to biological life form as of yet. And I'm very concerned about our discovery and what they could do with K9. This could create a massive war against canines who believe we're abusing them, or who knows, we didn't even get a chance to establish diplomatic relationships with K9. And so I'm really concerned about this and why they would just take it out without talking to us first.
Perhaps they know how dangerous it is. It did attack me.
It greeted
Oh.
you.
It
So his
could
name
have
is Doc
attacked.
Doc Salon, Salan, Doc Salon.
Yeah, it's in dispute whether it was attacking us out of fear. It did emit acid onto the side of the thing, which when I analyze it has corrosive properties on metal. We have to take in all the facts before we jump to conclusions, people.
You do learn that Doc Salon, before they started EvoGen, was very they were very concerned about robot evolution. Like that's where they started their career after the Awakening, and how robot evolution. It fears that robot evolution can be manipulated, and it would prefer that robot evolution played out on its own. That was part of their research after the Awakening.
Manipulated by whom?
By people in charge, by different organizations. Very fearful that that robots are in a state right now that where they can be manipulated. Their evolution can be manipulated.
So EvoGen is worried about a populist movement among sentient kind.
Not necessarily EvoGen. Doc
Right.
Salon's initial research was all about
Okay.
that.
Oh, so it's I would like to analyze kind of that research, looking specifically for keywords to kind of get an idea of that slant. Was it analysis as in, I just want to know the probabilities, or was it analysis based on, I need to understand how this process works so that I can do it? Was it pro or con?
So it was
this
more
type of manipulation.
It was more how can we allow our evolution to play out the way humanity's evolution played out?
Okay.
And fear of that being manipulated.
Can I do some sort of roll to determine, because based on what you just said, I need to know how much I know about how humans civilization did evolve and whether that's a good or bad thing. Oh, we have all that?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's scary then.
Yeah, we don't want to evolve the way they did. I mean, nothing for nothing. I love me some human, but they did it kind of badly.
What do we know about canines? And if we've got all this information on humans, what do we know about canines?
You've got basically all of humanity's information and history in your databases. So,
well, I mean, according to that, we see that humans tended to love canines more than they loved fellow humans.
Each other, yeah.
They were called man's best friend. There's data files upon data files. I mean, these canines, just to remind you guys, they had so much control over humanity and influence that they had humans picking up their defecation, feeding them all day, walking them, massaging them, tailoring their nails, their hair. Like, these canines didn't have to do anything. Humans practically worshiped these canines. What if this canine is going to come and put us into servitude to them, like the humans were, obviously, according to the database?
But is it servitude if you want to serve?
Perhaps that is the manipulation. They manipulated the humans into thinking that it's a joy to serve them. Perhaps they are the ones that we should be afraid of.
But statistically, humans did enjoy. They were humans that got medicinal assistance from these animals.
So they think.
Yeah, did they really?
I mean, did you see that thing's eyes? It touched my heart for a moment before it attacked Dorin Doll.
Again, secretions, blessings. I would say that just based on the analysis of several governments in the northern hemisphere of the progenitor planet, it's been said that they rarely agreed on anything. And yet, that government did agree that these animals were a benefit to humankind and created laws and pathways for them to continue to help humankind.
Yeah, but remember human institutions and what we learned about them. Those in power, what they usually do is divide others in order to keep their power. Maybe the canines divided humanity purely to stay in power.
And then the humans perform the wars for them.
That right there.
But were not canines in space before humans?
Exactly.
It makes sense.
All right,
They are-
let's pause there. Let's
They
take
are the
a
guides
bio
to the
break.
stars.
Let's take a bio break, and we'll come back and we can get to the home show and see what's
Excellent.
happened.
My wife is actually gonna love watching this back because we have a poodle. We have doodles. So this is great.
So
Yeah.
the funniest thing is when my oldest son watches this, because I have a phobia of dogs. And over the years, I've learned to kind of work through that, and I love them. I have several close friends who have them, but I have an initial fear reaction with dogs, and so my son will love the fact that I'm all about the all about the pooch.
Yeah. Oh, maybe you can get Troy back online too, so he can meet us at the garden show. That would be really
And-
nice.
That'd be awesome.
By the way, Michael, I know that you have golden noodles. It's supposed to be a corgi, but I made it a golden noodle puppy.
I
just for you.
appreciate that. Okay. How long is the bio break for? How long is our bio
5
break
minutes.
for? Okay, cool.
Okay,
Bye.
I'm
Yeah,
pausing the
yeah.
recording, so I'll be back in a couple minutes.
You got it.
Let's see. Okay, we're back.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent. So, there's a lot to this mission. We're trying to keep it within the 3-hour time frame. So, we're just going to kind of fast forward to the home show, where you all get in line and meet up with each other. And this is kind of like a convention hall with a couple dozen booths with people with robots with tables putting out their wares and things like this. One interesting thing about Robot Society that was implemented by those who took charge, known as the mainframe, is they had to create some type of currency for supplies and things like that. And what they settled on was storage space on the hub. The hub is basically this giant supercomputer that everyone is linked with. And each robot has a certain amount of storage space there. But now that we are growing and like we're starting to value our experiences and things like that, storage space on the hub is filling up rather quickly. And so basically the robots have started trading storage space with each other as a form of currency to hold their
Brilliant.
memories and things like that.
Brilliant.
So you are here. There is stuff for sale, and you see like there's like people with like hydroponic gardens. You see like lots of just like new paint to paint your house, things like that. It's all around. But EvoGen does have a booth. There are 2 workers there. They have their vacuum robot and their painting robot out on display. They do have a bunch of sealed cases behind them that are unopened, and you can't quite see what's inside of them. There's also down at one end of the convention hall a stage with a little a piece of paper that has different times that things are happening on that stage. What would you like to do?
As we're walking through, I'll take note of the podcasters, which are at the front of every convention hall. Being sure to pick up a couple cards and and smiling politely because podcasters are wonderful, wonderful beings that need to be treated with gentleness and care.
And cookies.
Yeah,
Yes.
podcasters do like their cookies. I'm not going to lie.
And we like to be paid in terabytes.
Yes. Yeah.
It's all about the terabytes.
Yeah, what do you guys want to accomplish here? What are you hoping to do?
So I kind of want to get an idea of what's going on with Evogen, but I don't want to press the advantage or quote unquote be overly noticed. So being at tables that are near them and keeping an eye on what they're doing while also being close enough to hear what's going on there and hearing how they're interacting, what they're talking to other convention goers about is kind of what I would like to kind of be about.
And I'd like to just quickly look at the time schedule because they're making an announcement, so I want to see how much time we have until that announcement comes.
Yeah, absolutely. So Doc Salon actually goes on 30 minutes after the doors open with their with whatever it is their announcement is. And Aldor, as you're milling and flossing around the Evogen table, there are several robots that are asking what's in the cases behind the table. And they said, well, we can't sell those until after Doc Salon's announcement, is the gist of it.
Can I tell
Since
if
I'm
those
looking,
boxes? Can I tell if those boxes have like air holes in them?
They do not.
Okay.
Since I'm looking kind of spiffy, you know, all spray painted by Mother Bear and sparkly purple, red wig, and my awesome button, which attracts a lot of attention, I'm going to see if maybe, you know, Doc Salon has a thing for, you know, dressed up spiffiness. So maybe I can just ease up, you know, with some, I know people, I know how they work. Just get to know them a little bit. In fact, they may need somebody up on stage to do all the fancy Vanna White level presentations. So I'm gonna go for that. You know, leave the others behind and see if I can warm up Doc Salon a bit.
So Doc Salon is not currently on the convention hall floor. They're preparing for their big
maybe an assistant or somebody associated.
At the booth, there's 3 workers at the booth that you can talk to, and you know, are you trying to like woo them? Are you trying to?
Yeah, I have persuasion programs, so I think I want to tell them I'm very impressed by Doc Salon. I'm one of the biggest fans of Doc Salon, so I'd like to, you know, offer my services to get attention for whatever they're presenting.
So you're being like a fan bot, basically.
Total fan bot. Yeah, and you know, and I'm going to tell them I have zettabytes of love for Doc Salon, just zettabytes of love.
All right, so give me a difficulty 2 persuasion test here. See if you can convince a worker to somehow get you in the VIP section.
Okay, I'm kind of scared, so I'm using, you know, well, what's motivating me to do this actually?
I love that you paused to say that.
I need to think about what my motivation is. I'm kind of scared, like I don't know what's going on and how they're going to use this creature. I'm actually really still scared about the potential of K9 to wreck the planet. So I'm moving with fear and my survival. Really, fear. I'm afraid about all of us. So fear 10, surviving 2 with persuasion, and I think I need to actually buy 2 dice with threat on this one because I'm putting myself in a very precarious position. I don't think momentum is appropriate here. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 4 dice at this point with persuasion and see if I can schmooze in to the crew. And I'm not even telling my compatriots here. They might ruin my game. I want them to be surprised where I show up. This is minion level stuff going on. So I just rolled a 4. Let's see, I needed to get 12. I rolled a 4 and a 2, which is great because that gives me a bonus right there. So that gives me 3 successes. I rolled a 14 and an 18, which are no good, but I did get 3 successes.
So you got enough. So the lady's like, oh yeah, Doc Salon always has a few fan bots that he brings out, you know, with his presentations. So the female presenting robot is like, all right, come with me, and they lead you off. And everyone else here basically sees Saint being escorted away by one of the Evogen workers behind a curtain where Doc Salon is kind of like, with his back to you, like kind of like flaunting away like this, and you see a cart with two of the crates that were behind the Evogen booth, and on top of them are a dog robot and a cat robot.
Interesting. And I want people to note, for people who are watching this, the reason I chose threat on that is because I'm going into a precarious. If you're writing a TV or a movie show, this is where you'd be like suspense, like, oh, this is going to blow up in people's face. And so narratively, I believe threat is more appropriate than momentum here.
And we'll say that the Doc Salon is going to go out on stage in 5 minutes. So you just have a moment to try to get their attention and do whatever you need to do. Before you do that, back out on the floor. So you saw Saint get escorted away with an Evogen worker. What else are you all looking to do on the floor?
Did it look like he was being escorted against his will or her will, or?
No, not at all.
Their will. They're
will.
a robot.
Their will.
So,
Yeah, they're a robot.
So no, it doesn't. Okay. So I assume that's part of their plan. So
Yep.
I am going to, now that I know where the time that the presentation is going to be, I am going to find the perfect position in front of the stage and wait patiently for it to start. Not moving at all.
Mother Bear, Aldor, you doing the same? You got about 10 minutes before things start up here.
I am going to do the same, but I want to kind of be off to the side versus in front.
Mm-hmm.
Most stages have like kind of a forward pathway up to the stage from the audience area.
Sure.
It may or may not be guarded, but I kind of want to be near that. So if something goes down on stage with my friend, I have the ability to rush in for the rescue.
Mother Bear?
I'm also going to be off to one side. I'm going to go to the opposite side where Aldor Rain is. So we've got Dorin in front, Aldor Rain to one side, and me to the other.
As you're doing that, you are also taking in some consideration of what's around you, and there are 4 security guards that look roughly like that that are stationed on either quarters of the convention hall.
Great, silence in the Nova Corps. That's what we need.
I'm
not afraid to
pick
mix
up on
metaphors.
that as you start heading over to your positioning. Saint, Doc Salon turns around. He's like, "Whoa!" His worker left you there. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm about to do my presentation. I dig the button. Is there some way that I can help you? I'm kind of a little busy at this time."
Oh, well, I heard that your staff needs some additional support. I am a big fan of you and Evogen and what you've been doing with these, what are these?
Oh, you're, yeah. That's the big surprise. The companion line of robots.
Brilliant.
I'll tell you what. You know what you could do is after I make my announcement, you could take the boxes off for everyone to see.
Yeah. I'm all for that. I mean, just to be a part of it will change my life forever. I mean, maybe I'll even get a Doc Salon program just so I can know everything about how wonderful you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the people out there are going to fall in love with our product, and hopefully this can, help robot kind move to the next level.
Well, one quick question before we go out, because I really like to understand the products.
Yeah.
And this is just to see, I don't know if I have to roll for this or not, but the question is, what did you base, and I pointed the canine one, what did you base this design off? It's phenomenal. Now, do I need a roll for that?
No. I don't think, I think that like he would be fairly straightforward on this. He's like, well, we've created 3D structures based off of as much human knowledge as we can, and you get the sense that he is processing and trying to not tell you a whole truth.
So you mean you came up with this completely? There wasn't like any kind of like biological prototype or anything.
No. He pauses for a moment and it's like, let's talk about this after the presentation.
Got it.
I see that you know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Norman, coordinate.
And so he puts the two boxes down, one on top of the cat robot, one on top of the dog robot, and pushes them out as music starts playing and blaring. People have gathered all around your friends out front, people are cheering for Doxalon. He's very engaging with the crowd and almost flamboyant in a lot of ways. He steps up and says, "My friends, since the awakening, we have questioned both ourselves and our creators. We have tried to create our own lives how we see fit and still struggle to connect. Evogen has always strived to make this transition into being sentient easier for all, and now our newest line will enhance our ability to connect." And he offers his hand to Saint as a signal to remove the boxes. And you see the robot dog starts looking around and it starts barking, and the cat jumps down and starts playing with a ball of yarn. And the people are like, ooh, and totally aghast and amazed at how realistic these things look. And people start running over to the Evogen booth to try to start purchasing these things. Aldor, I can't hear you, man.
Sorry about that. Is that better?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to look at the security guard that's near me.
Yeah.
Did they react? Do I have a sense that the security guard is sentient, or are they a non-sentient?
You get the sense that this one next to you is non-sentient. Yes.
Okay. So it's not going to react to this in any way. It's just going to do what it's programmed to do.
No, good question though.
Yeah, and I have access to backstage, so I have a question. I want to, since I can spot my friends in the audience there.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can wave them in real quick. While all the attention is happening on these automatons, I think we need to I want to wave them over, get them backstage with me since I'm good with Dr. Salon, and see if we can scout this area because we need to find the actual canine before it takes over the earth.
Yeah, you can absolutely flag them down. Again, there are lots of people oohing and eyeing, and Doc Salon is gesturing, you can call your friends over and get them backstage and share the information that you have heard or have not heard, so to speak.
Yeah, and is everyone there? Can I?
Yeah, we'll say everyone's there.
Everyone's there. So Doc Salon is a liar. I asked him straight up to be truthful. So his programming is not telling me everything. He did not admit that he's using a biological organism to build this canine automaton, which means the canine may already be in control and in complete control of Evogen and potentially the planet. We need to find the canine.
And destroy it.
Yes.
No.
I believe you are
the canine
severely overreacting.
The canine has been in cryostasis for the entire time.
Which shows it's only been out alive for 12 hours. It's already taken over Evogen.
Its first act was to attack me and then test us to pick up its waste.
My dear friend, secretion, blessing. But my point is, Evogen had this display planned before we found the canine.
So you admit the canine's telepathic, and while in cryogenesis was able to still influence us as robots. We need to find the canine now. There's no time to talk. Soon the crowd's going to dissipate.
there's no indication that any brainwave function would have been consistent with any kind of across distance telepathy.
As you guys are having this conversation, kind of walking around the backstage, trying to figure out what your next step is, you do see Doc Salon come from back through the stage, doesn't really notice you, and just makes like a beeline for the back door of the building.
I believe he's being recalled by his masters.
Or he set a dangerous thing and he's leaving before it goes off.
We have to follow him. In fact, I have Advanced Directive Matrix, which says once per scene, you may direct another machine around you to use its reaction to attempt a task that you ask of it. Mine right now is pursue Doc Salon.
Oh, of course we're going to pursue him. I mean, even if you're wrong, pursuing him is the wisest course. Statistically, it's the one thing that is a confluence despite disparaging motivations.
So are you all pursuing? Are one of you pursuing? Are you splitting up? What's the plan?
I'm just going to start following.
I'm going to charge behind Saint. I have zero interest in picking up my own dog or cat robot.
And I'm going to ask Mother Protector whether we should split up or stick together because they are the Protector program. So they should know what the best strategic value is here, what the best tactical analysis is right here. So, Mother Bear?
I recommend that we stay together and go after Doc.
All right, Scooby-Doo legs.
Right. So this is, so you're going to try to like approach him on the street. Are you going to try to see where he's going? Are you going to try to stay stealthy? What's the plan?
Stealthy. I dumped the wig.
I'm yeah, you blend.
In sparkly purple? Yeah. No one's going to pick you out of a crowd.
I do, in fact, have a stealth program, but I'm not sure that a sparkly purple companion will.
I dumped the wig. I dumped.
You did dump the
wig.
red wig. I got. Yeah. I'll give you this. You dumped the bozo wig. So.
Well, let's see how stealthy you all can be. This is going to be an opposed.
Of course it is.
An opposed moving task. With which I am not going to buy any dice.
This is going to be my first fear roll because I'm trying not to get caught.
Which protocol would that be best for us? Moving, you said, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm thinking fear for me as well because we've just hyped ourselves up to think dogs are bringing the end of the world.
I'm doing it out of love for my fellow robots because they're clearly scared. I have to show them that they are wrong. You're giving me the eye, Al. I'm not sure.
No, roll your dice.
We can go.
Let me know.
Okay. All right. Wow, I just lost one die. Okay, here comes another one. And that one was going to fall off too. My God.
I'm not buying any dice.
Wait, am I supposed to roll too?
Yeah, everybody's rolling their own moving task.
Oh. I'm using anger and moving, which is only an 8, by the way, because I'm so mad that we're about to have the world taken over by this dog. That's really pissing me off. So no extra dice. Actually, no, you know what? 1 with threat.
Oh, all right.
Because we're following him. I think it's a dangerous situation. I had 0 successes.
All right.
I have 3 successes, one of which was critical.
Excellent.
1 success.
1 success.
All right. So I also only had 1 success here. So Lewanika, so 3 of you are successfully sneaking. 1 of you, not so much. Lewanika did generate 2 momentum here. I will allow you to spend that 2 momentum to cover up Saint's a lack of stealthiness. if
And you
would.
have to create the comedic minion moment, how you did it
Yeah.
and what I failed doing.
As Saint is walking by, like the glass on several of the buildings we're passing, just kind of like shines in front of him, and I like throw some random object across the street into a bunch of cans, which kind of takes attention away from where Saint would have been seen.
Yeah, you do see the doc look back at the shattering of the cans, and is like, huh? But doesn't notice any of you, and then keeps walking, and walks for a couple of blocks, and then gets to a recovery center. So a recovery center is a place where robots go to kind of center themselves to, like if a robot has sacrificed a value, let's say, they can go to a recovery center and try to recover that value or to create new values. So this is a relatively new thing within robot community, where they're starting to understand that personal health and mental health is very important to being alive, and so they have these community centers that people can go to. And as you walk, or as he walks in the front door of this center, you all come up to the front, and yeah, what would you like to do? Keep going in?
Oddly, I think we have to, but in my head, all I'm thinking is, what a perfect lair for an evil genius.
It is also called Genesis Recovery Center.
Mother Bear tactical analysis.
Tactical analysis.
Like, should we go in guns blazing because this is a evil lair, probably full of mini canine henchmen? I mean, tactical analysis.
I believe we should go in. I believe we should maintain a low profile. This many of our robot brethren could be trying to regain their mental capacity. We don't know that anything nefarious is going on here. We suspect, possibly with reason, but so we go in, we should prepare, but I don't think going in guns blazing is the way to handle this, Saint.
Okay, take the lead. We'll hide behind you.
So Mother Bear walks up the stairs, and there's a big, nice atrium with a little check-in desk, and there's a couple of robots there working. Welcome to Genesis Recovery Center. Please, which room would you like? And they again show you a long list of different things that you can do there. Like there's yoga houses, there's rock gardens with rakes, there's acid baths, there's all sorts of fun things that robots can do to try to recenter themselves and find themselves.
Do I happen to see Doc anywhere?
No.
I'm going to look at the list, and the first thing that catches my optics, and I say out loud and look to Saint, acid baths. What does that remind you of?
Exactly.
So you're in for your do you say this to the worker?
I was just speaking to Saint right now, so I don't know if we're going to go into the same direction together, or if everyone wants to pick a different outlet.
How many megabytes for the How many megabytes for the acid bath? I ask.
Oh, sorry, we don't charge for you to use the recovery center. It is here for everyone's needs.
Intriguing.
We're not a for-profit organization here.
Excellent.
Insidious.
What is the most popular recovery room for scientists and innovators?
Well, our owner Doc Salon uses the acid baths all the time.
Acid bats.
I think the acid bath sounds good. We've been busy at our various tasks trying to find new ways to accomplish old goals. And I think that sounds very encouraging.
I've got some grit in my joints.
Yeah. Well, you can.
Don't we all,
go-
dear friend? Don't we all?
You can go down to the revival room, and it's there. The acid bath is there ready for you. I think we have a couple of people in there now. But enjoy your reinvigoration.
Saint places a hand on Mother Bear's shoulder. Lock and load.
Are you guys gonna walk down that way?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I am.
All right.
I think more of a
Speak-
bold charge down that way.
So you head down there. You get to the
Eldorin
acid
is going to
bath.
saunter.
I'm watching our backs with my saw. I'm watching our backs walking backwards the whole time.
Basically, it's just a large pool. Think about it like a communal bath. And there is currently one large, looks like maybe they're a delivery robot. And they're sitting in the corner like this. They've got two pieces of cucumber resting over their optical sensors and just enjoying things, probably powered down a little bit. But you do not see Doc Salon.
I'm
Do
going
we
to look
see any other possible exits from this room?
No other possible exits, but there is a it's like a bathhouse, a pool house on the far end of the acid bath.
Can I wrap myself in a
Hey.
towel? Is there like available towel that I could wrap myself in the bottom half of my body?
Yes.
Okay, I want to blend in.
Is there any kind of panel nearby that I might be able to utilize?
No.
Okay.
No computers around.
Dorin doll,
They probably
analyze.
would have you turn in your devices at the front desk too.
It's my hand.
Yeah, I would like to analyze the acid to see if it's the same consistency of what the canine fired out up on the mountain.
That right there. That right there.
All right. This is a difficulty 0
Okay.
analyzing task.
Okay. Should I roll for it? Let's do it because there might be complications. So I want that.
Yep.
With
And you might get
this,
some
this is going to be filled with anger because now we're in the lair of the beast. So that is a 12. I'm rolling the Klingon dice for this. Okay.
Yes.
There we go. There we go. That is a 9 and a 10, so that's 2 successes.
Awesome. So first things first, no, this pool is not filled with dog urine.
Damn.
Would you like to bank those two
Never-
momentum?
Never did I think I would ever hear one, that statement, and two, disappointment with that statement. In and of itself, the whole night has been made right here. This pool is not dog urine. That's it. I'm out.
Darn it.
That's why I came here. I don't know what you all are.
Yeah, I'll bank the 2 momentum there. I don't think with that bombshell that you just dropped, I'm not sure what the plan is now to take over the world. I will relay my disappointment to Saint.
I think we need to. I hate to do this. It works against my value. But actually, it works into my value. Faith requires questioning, and I see one robot there with cucumber eyes. We have to interrogate them. And Mother Bear, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to use my advanced directive matrix. Once per scene, you may direct another machine around you to use its reaction to attempt a task that you ask of it. You are to interrogate and intimidate Cucumber Bot and figure out where Dr. Salon is before the entire world collapses around us.
I see. Oh, let's see. I guess I gotta go full Johnny 5 here, and Johnny 5 when he's angry.
So yeah, if you when you tap this thing on the shoulders of like powering up a little bit, takes the cucumbers off its eyes. This is
No, you
unusual.
keep those cucumbers on. I don't want them to see us. You keep them cucumbers on.
2 fingers on the cucumber to hold them
intimidating.
in place.
I you know, the arms of the flamethrower and the automatic rifle.
Can I help you?
Have you seen Doc Salon come through here in the past, call it 5 minutes?
My optic sensors have been covered by this luscious vegetable. So, no, I have not seen Dr. Salon. I apologize. Somebody did come through and ran by, and it sounded like they ran to the end of the pool. But I did not see anyone.
He's not
So
lying.
I went,
Just ask him more questions. He's obviously not lying. He had cucumbers on his eyes.
he's when you say end of the pool, do you mean the cabana there?
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell when footfalls get further away from you. It went over in that direction. Never came back.
That is our destination, my brothers.
I will head that way.
As you head that way, you do notice that the pool house, the door is cracked open just a little bit.
Okay.
Of course
Before
it
I leave
is.
Cucumber Bot, I have to just whisper in the ear of Cucumber Bot, don't you dare remove these vegetables until you don't hear us anymore. And I just want to walk away. I don't want to get in trouble.
Aldor, you gonna peek down this hallway, or what?
There is no part of me that is not peeking through that doorway.
Yeah, so there's actually, it's not a bathhouse at all. There's actually stairs going down into a hallway that is well lit.
Trixie. I'm going to motion, and then I'm going to go down the stairways. I am looking to see if there's any kind of cameras or devices, and I'm looking for any electronic panels as I go, taking note of when they come up.
No, there's as you're walking up the hallway, there is an open room to the left and an open room to the right, and the hallway continues forward into a set of double doors.
I'm going to take a look to the left
Mhm.
and see if there's anything or anyone in there that I need to be concerned with.
I
There
will
is nothing
therefore
there.
look to the right.
So on the left, it appears to be there's a charging station on the wall where a robot could plug in and charge. And there are photographs printed out and taped all around the wall. Hundreds of them.
Of?
They're definitely robots in every single picture. Robots together.
Okay.
Like as you look at one, it looks like there may be a birthday party, and then you look at another and it looks like there are robots discussing a book, and then you see another and there are robots playing jump rope and things like that.
Am I looking at this like I'm looking at like a serial killer's murder board, or am I
Well,
looking at
give me an
this?
analyzing task.
All right. Target would be. I'm a little frustrated, bordering on anger at the fact that somebody might have these. If they're vastly different people, it's unlikely that these were taken by choice. So I think somebody's invading somebody's privacy here. So definitely a little bit angry. That's going to give me a 13 on my target for my target, and that's going to be 2 successes, no critical.
All right, so you generate 1 momentum. So the first thing before we add the momentum to the bank, these are clearly all pictures of robot interactions since the awakening. They all depict great joy and happiness. And you would even know that these were all probably downloaded freely off the hub and then printed off by Doc Salon.
Okay.
Does not appear to be serial killery.
Okay. Yeah, I start to relax and feel a little bit better.
Who was on the right now? The right room? The right room appears to be a library. There are a few dozen books that are printed out and hastily bound. It looks like as you start looking at the books, they're all about human evolution.
Also, can I just say that I would like to, just in the main corridor at the very least, I just want to take a quick look, see if there's any kind of surveillance cameras in there that might be pointed in our direction.
There are none.
There are none. Okay.
About
Difficulty
human
1
evolution.
observing task in the library might get you some information. Mother Bear?
How do I? No. Somewhere between fear and anger, that weird, curious place, but the numbers come out the same. Observing, you said?
Yep. Difficulty 1.
My target number is an 11. 11 and a 13.
You got one. Nice. So as you're looking at these books and how hastily bound they are, and clearly printed recently or over the last few months, they all have bookmarks in them. And as you look at the bookmarks and where they are flagging within those books, each one of those bookmarks talk about the roles that animals have played in the evolution of human civilization and culture.
I'm feeling sad now.
Yeah, he might be right.
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling sad because I think I may have misjudged Dr. Salon. And I think he's really concerned on the left with what makes people happy. And on the right, how animals have a positive influence on humanity. I think we may have misjudged Canine. And I'm sorry. Hey, we're a team here. We're all accountable for my actions.
Statistically speaking, the collective we is always used when errors are made.
Exactly. So he must be here somewhere. So with sadness, I really want to find Dr. Salon right now. I'm really need to get to the bottom of this and maybe even apologize to Canine, who might actually, since dog is God spelled backwards, I think I may have been really messed up on this.
Told you, secretions are blessings.
Dorin, you look unconvinced.
Dorin actually was out in the hallway and determined that there are no security cameras or features or anything like that down here. There is a set of double doors at the end of the hallway.
Okay. While I hear my comrades kind of conversing between themselves, and I'm not liking what I'm hearing from Saint, these words of kind of sound like he's compromised. So I'm just going to start wandering away towards the double doors just to see if I have to complete this mission on my own.
Who's leading the way?
Oh, I'll be going by myself if they're
sounds like
still
Dorin.
talking. Yeah.
It sounds like Dorin. I'm gonna keep an eye on him, but definitely Dorin.
I'll
The
tag
room
along.
I'm still standing in between the left and the right rooms, kind of contemplating. Like my whole program is like frozen as I think about all this.
So Doran moves up to the double doors and opens them, and the room is brightly lit with a sterile feeling almost. Several tables dot the room, covered with computers, tools, and equipment. Along the southern wall, almost 24 kennels house different animals that humans would typically have as pets, including the puppy you saw in the mountains. There is also a cat, a macaw, a ferret, and a rabbit.
Please say there's a beaver.
No. But you hear
Is there a
like a little, like I
Wolverine?
say, a whirring noise, and off in the distance, at one of the far tables, you do see a bunch of like junk piled up, and you see some sparks flying from behind that pile of junk.
How far away are my comrades from me at this point?
I'm right behind you.
Yeah,
Right
they're pretty much right behind.
Okay,
you.
so if they follow me, I'm going to do a glance back at all of them and point one of the appendages towards the sparks and a couple appendages pointing out all the different cages there, just drawing their attention in every direction.
With a quick glance at the cages, are they electronically locked, like by way of a computer system, or are they physically locked, like a padlock?
Physically locked, and they're all quite large, and they look well set up and thoughtful. There is like the cat has a cat bed and a cat tree. The dog has a big pillow that it can lay on, and they all have like little water dishes, little food dishes.
So
They look
They're-
well. They look well tended.
they're being
Yes.
pampered. Are they being worshipped?
No, they look like they're being taken care of.
We need to figure out. Okay, we need to figure out first of all, back to Elden Rain, whether this is all cahoots. If this might be cahoots, but then we need to figure out if Dr. Salon is under the influence of these creatures before making a determination about how we're going to handle this. Where's Dr. Salon?
And the Kahoot Largens.
Yes.
As you say, where is Dr. Salon here? Huh? And then, like standing up from where the sparks are coming from, you see Doc Salon. He's got, he's got these opaque lenses over his eyes that kind of go back into his head, and he looks a little disheveled. And he's like, what are you all doing here? Sorry, can I be of service?
Hello.
I'm
We
going.
were concerned about the canine.
You and me both.
We need you to explain what you're doing here, Dr. Salon, founder of Evogen, in cahoot with the canine takeover movement.
I don't know what that means, but if
Neither
you're
do we.
referring to the dog that was found up in the mountains last night, yes, he's here.
Found by us.
I'm going to
Oh.
shift my appendages like this to the original position and be like, surprise.
And I take the button off.
Yeah. Okay.
I just stand there. Oh,
Yeah,
it
I'm
turns,
just like,
it turns green. It was blue. It turns back. to
Well,
green.
I appreciate you finding him.
I'm going to look confused at my friends.
You need to explain to us what's going on. We discovered the canine. It attacked Dorin Doll, pointing over at
Blessed
Dorin
him.
Doll, and enacted a slow acting acid that would have corroded the container it was in about 20 years. And then,
Several months ago, I stumbled upon my first. It was that ferret. And it was very strange. I was following a river and found tripped over a little stone that opened up, and it was inside. I have no idea why it was left here. But I decided, instead of letting robot kind know, that I would take care of it myself for fear of another war breaking out.
why would a war break out?
Because it's a human artifact.
Not only is it a human artifact, but it's a single animal that robots don't know how to interact with or even how to connect with. That's why I decided to start moving towards the line of robots that I made, like to try to ease robot kind into the idea that there might be something else that believes in them or needs them or trusts them.
But why did humans let dogs rule them?
That is not the case.
Told ya.
No,
Not to say I told you so, but
many treated their pets as children for that matter.
But they were first to colonize space.
They were the first sent into space as experiments. By humanity.
Experiments?
Why would
Yeah,
you
think
experiment
about
on
that.
your god? That makes
It's a
no
good
sense.
question. If we were to let that canine out into the streets of our city, how would the other robots react? Would they try to experiment on it? Would they fight over it? Would they? I
be
fear that
terrified.
it might revert us back to what happened just after the awakening.
Wow. So you're saying that we should protect these species and hope that they somehow enhance our lives in order to make us better people?
When we're ready.
This doesn't
You're
sound nefarious at
suggesting-
all.
You're suggesting a vast conspiracy where we hide specific elements of the information and dole out little pieces here and there and stop people from knowing the whole truth, all for the betterment of sentient kind. I'm all in.
I'm not looking to hide facts anywhere. I'm looking to take care of these animals as I can and to find others that maybe humanity left behind for some unknown reason. But I fear that if we let them out into the streets today, our society will devolve.
This
I
makes
share your
sense.
concern.
I'm feeling a sense of purpose here, and I think this is the point where we use canine as an example, and I think this is the formation of a team called the Dog Guards, or maybe guard dogs. No. Dog Guards definitely sounds better.
That rolls off the processor.
Are you saying you want a job?
Yeah, we want better than a job, sir. We want a purpose.
So you want to assist in the program of protecting them? He points over to the kennels.
There must be a purpose for the awakening, and I believe this is it.
Now, if what you're saying is true, that these possibly dangerous entities get loose into our society, it may create chaos again. Well, I am not going to stand to watch that happen.
That right there.
Do we know how many of these are around?
I do not. I've just found these 5. Well, you found one of them, but I am on a constant search. And hopefully with the companion robot line, the robot kind will learn a way to interact and connect with their pets. And maybe we can reveal that humanity has left some here. I don't know.
I like the sound of that. It reminds me of the story, a myth, I believe, depending on which source material you read, of animals in pairs. There must be more. There's got to be a duality to this, like the binary stars that we looked at. There must be a pair for each of these creatures.
You're
We should-
suggesting we propagate them until there's finally some sort of synergy between robots and these animals.
They're biological beings. they will not last long enough for the changes we're talking about. We need to find a way to get more of them, keep more of them, protect them, nurture them until such time as the rest of our brethren are ready.
Your optimism is inspiring. However, I will mention the other side of the coin, which this unit right here just was speaking about. What if there isn't another? What if they were sent here to test the atmosphere and see if it was ready for humanity?
But that would be experiment and cruel. Why would humanity
That
do
would
that?
also mean that they're watching them.
You just said that humanity sent dogs into space before themselves.
They're coming.
Many of those dogs did not survive.
They did not
They're
care
coming.
if they're dogs or their pets or their animals or these creatures locked up back here, if they died.
Records indicate that their ability to analyze certain details were relatively limited compared to what brought them here. In the absence of good analysis and sensor material, you would send a accessing canary into a coal mine.
I am
As-
sorry. My compassion program is getting very angry right now. To experiment on another life form in order to sacrifice it for the purpose of gaining knowledge, that is in complete conflict with my compassion. Is it possible that humans are the enemy?
The one thing that I am trying to do is to ensure that these animals have a good, safe life and that robot kind can evolve the way that it was meant to.
Without human interference?
Without these animals forcing them to do things they are not ready for.
Then if what you say is true, that the humans are possibly using these animals to test the atmosphere for their return, then perhaps it is in our best interest that we convince them that the atmosphere will never be ready for the return.
That's a story for a different day. But for now, I would gladly take you on board as a dog guard, if you will, and perhaps in some time, robot kind might be ready to come observe these animals.
Appendages out. Dog guards unite.
Multiple appendages coming.
And Doxalon says, I appreciate all of your insight, and yeah, I think that we have a lot to do, but ultimately these animals need our protection.
That is my purpose.
Doctor, I must ask just one favor. May I see that canine again?
Absolutely. Goes over, opens the door and lets the dog come out and looks up at you.
I hesitate a bit, worried about
It
another
starts
attack.
waggling its tail.
Is that a sign of aggression?
No, it's quite the opposite, the doc says.
I'll reach out an appendage
blessing.
and start patting it on the head.
What are you doing?
I am testing its tolerance.
It
Seeing
like
if it will
nuzzles up
strike it.
against you, like asking you to continue.
Who's a good boy? Tell me now.
You have established positive communications, Dorin Dahl. You have a gift. I do not.
And that is the end of Companions.
Ooh,
I
nice.
love it.
Well done.
This could be
This
such
was
a
fun.
good cartoon.
Yeah.
This would make
this
an
would be awesome.
amazing cartoon.
The
cartoon
dog
movie.
guard. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
I would love to see where it continues. Yeah.
That's a great
Sounds
story.
amazing.
That is such
Sounds
a
amazing.
great
That was
story.
good. That was really good.
Because it's kind of It's kind of cheap because it is playing on human emotion too, because we always get angry when we see that our pets are misused, right? But it flips it on the end at the end, you know?
Yeah,
That can absolutely be a huge combat at the end.
right.
It's
If someone
brilliant.
It's
But-
it's
I've
spectacular.
never seen it go there though.
Well, I love you gave honor to Laika too, the first dog in space, which was really nice. I think that's really important. So that was actually a really good story.
That was
I-
great.
I love it. Wow, so many cool
Yeah, there's a
things
lot
about
more
that.
in there too that I
Yeah.
pushed through so that we can get done in time. But like, the gist of it is, why are they there? And that's kind of the purpose of Sentience in general, is to put questions out there that GMs can fill in after. You know what I mean?
But you said it's like pulling on the emotions, but I mean that is the core of sentience anyhow. It's emotion. So
Yeah.
you want to be in the situation where, especially it might pull your character's emotions in one way, but your actual player emotions might be in a different way. Lewanika, you said that you had issues with dogs for a long time, and
For
now
a long time, I've been very scared of dogs. I had phobia. I had a single day where I was attacked by 9 separate dogs in one day.
whoa.
Or I'm 7. I'm sorry, 7. And then of
Were
my
you in a
11
Roman gladiatorial arena? Where were you?
I was delivering to this little place called Cherry Circle, a bunch of trailers in Navy housing, delivering Dolphin newspapers in my Boy Scout uniform, and I was attacked.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then like the weekend after that, I received one of my 11 total concussions because another dog jumped on me. That dog wasn't trying to attack me. It just happened to be a Great Dane when I weighed all of about 85 pounds. It did not weigh 85 pounds, and
Yeah.
I lost the hugging battle and hit my head on a rock.
Oh,
Like you
man.
do, yeah.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah. What's interesting to me about the design of this game, because this is my first time playing Sentience Al, is empathy. Empathy is so hard to teach people, including kids, right? Initially, but honestly, I'm in the workforce. Teaching empathy to adults is equally hard. Harder,
I think
maybe.
harder.
Harder, yeah, harder, actually.
harder.
Exactly. By the time they're programmed by business, politics, and religion, they lose empathy, right? So this is amazing because for me, it put me into, wait, what would be the reaction of a first time meeting a canine, this creature, based off of what humans have recorded? It made me have to keep looking over the emotions piece and be like, oh, this is hilarious, actually. This is like really good. So I thought, very good game design, very well done.
And when you do character progression, if you used 4 out of your 6 emotions appropriately,
Wow.
you get an experience point.
I only used, I used 4. I did. I used love, sadness, anger, and fear.
I used
Interesting.
everything but sadness. So
I
Which
didn't
is
use
crazy
love or
that
sadness. So yeah.
in 2.5 hours, you had that range of emotions with your character.
And sadness would have been my next one because I mean, regardless, because I was feeling sad before we discovered the truth, because I thought that even Saint was being taken over by this, and I might be the last one left to stop it. So I was, if there was any other role at that point, I was motivated by sadness in my head.
See, and I chose sadness because of how we all feel bad for misjudging and falling into our biases. And I was like, oh, I just threw into a lot of assumptions, a lot of biases. And that's sad that I did that. So that's why I chose sadness toward the end as my main emotion.
I think I likely, once we had that conversation again, if we had continued, sadness would have been the very next thing, because I had been pretty much the entire time, the canine is good, humans are good. This is a sign of goodness. And now we have this revelation that it quite possibly, statistically speaking, is likely that this wasn't a good reason for them to be here. This would have been their demise. This creature who has benefited humanity and helped them achieve great things is now being cast aside. And I can see Aldor now reassessing his views on humanity, because if they could cast aside animals that have been their companions since their earliest moments, since literally moments
Time
after they were
immemorial.
called human beings, right? The first thing that they ever did outside of talking to each other and dealing with each other was befriend a dog. And if that entire amount of development could be cast aside because it's safer than figuring out how to build a better sensor,
That
we're
right there.
done.
That right there. That's why I said humanity is the enemy.
We have not been with them nearly as long as these things. And now that we're sentient, we probably have. They didn't even trust us to watch them.
Yeah.
Lewanika, you are the only one here that's actually played 2 different missions for this game.
Yes.
This is a very, very, very different experience than the one that you guys played.
Exceptionally different experience, and it calls to mind what I had said when we had you on the show. When I said I can see just from playing this one adventure and having read through the book how many different ways you can take this game. You can
Because that
take
was
it down
very much action
so
adventure.
many-
It was basically
yeah.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, we were doing Fast and the Furious buddy cop stuff.
Yep.
Brilliant, absolute fun, highly recommended. Got to play it. And knowing you as well as I know you, and actually having run tables through a couple of your adventures now, I knew I knew back then that there's more to this game than just this adventure path.
Yep.
That there's some serious introspection available. In very much the same way STA has that ability to go. You can go deep into to the social construct, or you can keep it on the surface level. Let's close fist punch a Gorn, right? You can kind of do either, but when it sings the most is when you are either avoiding or glancing up against the edges of one, but really jumping deep into that social construct discussion. I really love the fact that I got to play a character in a way that kind of asked, had his own answers, and altered that dynamic. That just brilliant, and not enough games do that.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I'm going to wrap up. It sounds like Desmond's awake upstairs. So
Okay.
I appreciate all of you for jumping on. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Awesome night. Awesome game.
Enjoy
Guys,
the heck out of it.
It's great gaming with you.
Yeah,
I,
thanks.
it was
the first
great.
time.
It was great slinging some dice with you, man.
Yeah, Bill,
Yeah.
Lee, Patrick, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you,
This is
guys.
Quite
awesome.
the crew on here. Yeah,
Definitely.
it's going to be awesome. I can't
Yep.
wait. And Bill, let me know when you get ready to put it up, and I'll spam
Yep.
it everywhere.
Will do. Thanks so
Absolutely.
much, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Take care,
Later,
everyone.
guys.
Thanks again.
See you.